Hello, sixth graders. This is a quick review of what we've been doing before winter break, where we did a practice formative literary analysis. So this focus for this quick little screencast is for you to use and watch over and over again, because it's really to guide you through specifically your introduction paragraph, because I feel as once you get your introduction paragraph, you will be well on your way into the rest of the literary analysis. So this is a literary analysis, which is a comparison and contrast of two texts. And so this is how to write an introduction paragraph when comparing and contrasting literary texts. So the first thing to your introduction paragraph is that you always, in your first sentence, want to include the titles of the text. You need to include the titles of the text so that the audience who's reading your paper can have an understanding of the two stories that you are comparing and contrasting. So over here is an example. Whoops. In the text, a single shard, as well as in Turn My Wheel, there were many similarities, but differences were found as well regarding the plots. So this is a good introduction sentence that introduces the two texts that you will be comparing and contrasting. Next, in your introduction, after you have the title of the text in your first sentence, you then want to be sure to answer the prompt and the question. So here is the question. Write a literary analysis that addresses how the lessons and themes in a single shard and Turn My Wheel are alike and how they are different. So you're comparing alike and you're contrasting differences. So here would be a good example of a second sentence in your introduction paragraph. These similarities and differences include how both themes, because we're talking about lessons and themes, so these similarities and differences include how both themes represent maybe friendship, as well as how friends should always be loyal to each other. So do you see how I address how both of these stories have maybe similar themes? And you will do that the same and fill in the blank here. So these similarities and differences include how both themes represent friendship, as well as how friends should always be loyal to each other. This then essentially is your thesis statement. The second sentence in your introduction is your thesis statement. So you first have your titles of your text in your first sentence, and then your second is answering the prompt or the question, which in this case is addressing the theme of both texts. So once you've completed your introduction, you are well on your way to writing a literary analysis essay. Your next paragraphs will be then a compare paragraph. Your next will be a contrast paragraph, and then you end with a concluding paragraph, which gives you a total of 4 paragraphs in your literary analysis. So here, all I did was cut and pasted these 2 sentences to put in your whole introduction paragraph. In the text, the single shard, as well as in Turn My Wheel, notice I have both titles of the text, there were many similarities, but differences were found as well regarding the plots. In that whole sentence there, I'm addressing the titles of the text and the question. I'm answering the prompt. These similarities and differences include how both themes represent friendship, as well as how friends should always be loyal to each other. Because by filling in those blanks, I am addressing the theme or the lesson. And then if you want to continue, you can hit pause here and you can see how some good transition words were used, because after the introduction, you then have your compare paragraph, your contrast paragraph, and your concluding paragraph. And these are great examples that I pulled from an example from online from Park of an exemplar essay, an exemplar literary analysis. So if you would like to read through those and look through some transitional phrases and some examples, you may hit pause to do so. Now, you can do this. So as I said before, your literary analysis should be 4 paragraphs. Your first paragraph is your introduction, and in your introduction, you're going to want to do these 3 things. Introduce the text or texts, so I should see the titles of both texts. You should answer the prompt, so in this case, we're talking about theme, the theme of both texts and how they are different and alike. So you should have that in your introduction, and that will then be your thesis statement. So you should have approximately 2 sentences in your introduction paragraph. Okay, work hard. I'm here with you today to help you through this, to work through. We're going to edit our literary analysis that we did through break after this video. You may watch this video as many times as you need. Okay, you can do this. Keep working hard.